Good day. Doom 3, ladies and gentlemen. It's a classic, but it wasn't the first Doom 3, for you see, there was Doom 3 Infernal Sky, and holy crap was it weird! It shot the story off in a direction I don't think anybody could have anticipated both back in the 90s and today. So with that, let's enter that weird and wacky world of Doom 3 Infernal Sky. In the paperback version of the book, the novel is dedicated to Arnold Schwarzenegger, the only actor other than Carl Urban, The Rock, and possibly Chris Pratt that could really play a convincing Doom guy. Unlike with the other novels, this one does not immediately carry on from the previous book. Rather, Flynn and Arlene are telling the story of the end of the previous book to a Marine on the Big Island of Hawaii. Spoiler alert. The Doomslayers survived! So just how did Doom 2 Hell on Earth in the novelers end, you might ask? Well, it ended epically. In that particular novel, the Slayer Squad had the mission to secure blueprints to the invading Xenos technology so that humanity might have a fighting chance. The Slayers instead found a guy converted into a living computer that had all the plans stored in his brain. The Slayer Squad commandeers a plane to escape to one of the last bastions of humanity, Hawaii. They encounter an energy field that blocks their escape, so Flynn and Arlene have to storm the shield generator's emission point, and you will never guess where it is. The most wretched hive of scum and villainy. Disneyland! The demons have converted a building in Disneyland into a massive shield generator emitter, and it's up to the Slayers to blow it up. The novel concludes with the shield generator being brought down, but the Slayers are still trapped on top of the building, and the last few lines of the novel have Arlene saying that she has found a plan to escape. So in short, the novel does not actually end since the plot is not actually resolved. The plane has not made it to Hawaii, and the Doom Slayers are still stuck on top of the building. How hard would it have been to actually wrap it up in the bloody book itself? But, in any event, Infernal Sky plays their escape like a joke, and both Doom Guy and Girl give differing accounts as to how they made it out. They do make it out, so who cares? What's rather funny, though, is that in Arlene's version of the story, she and the Slayer find a UPS truck filled with the most advanced handgun of all time, the Ruger New Model Blackhawk. And Arlene gushes about it for a few paragraphs. The 90s. The Ruger New Model Blackhawk is a .357 Magnum single-action revolver. I personally have a Super Blackhawk in .44 Magnum, and while it is a really fun handgun to shoot, I wouldn't call it top of the line, nor would I want to fight hordes of demons with it. Although, I would still use the .44 Magnum version at the very least against heavy demons. The book gets a bunch of details about the Blackhawk right, including the fact that it has a firing pin block. But, moving on back to the actual plot, back in Hawaii we learn that humanity is struggling to get things back together after the invasion and trying to learn all it can about the foul Xenos. The novel is told from multiple first-person perspectives yet again, and all the characters still have their own voice. The hook segment in the novel has Jill talking with a Black Mesa-esque scientist about the Xenos. And awesomely enough, the scientists call the foul Xenos by their official canon names. And when Jill asks where they came up with the names, the scientist says they came from the id. Dee-dee-doo! During the conversation about the Xenos, Jill and the scientists get attacked by zombies. Yeah, turns out stupid zombies does not equal safe zombies, and the scientist gets his head cut off with a meat cleaver. The Doomslayers decide to get into some zombie killing action, and oh sweet Ysmir, yes, Flynn Taggart, the Doomslayer himself, faces off against a horde of zombies with the greatest battle implement ever devised, the Caliber 30 M1. That's right, the Slayer gets to slang with a M1 Garand. With the greatest battle implement ever devised, the Slayers save Jill and slay the undead. The plot is eventually kicked off when the Slayer squad is tapped to go on an extremely dangerous mission. Just before the Xenos invasion, humanity received a message from some friendly Xenos, but were unable to do anything about it due to the invasion. The Slayer squad is ordered to sneak back onto the mainland and secure a rocket and then head back to Phobos, and then using some good Xenos intel, set the Phobos teleporter to send them to an unknown alien base. A new character is added to the squad, an officer named Hidalgo. He is a bit of an arsehole at first, but like with so many characters in the Doom novels, proves to have some hidden depths. And man, are those depths way more mature than one would expect from a novel about shooting demons in the face. Jill gets left behind on Earth due to the Slayer Squad wanting her to be safe, and they head out to Phobos on a rocket named the Bova. Keep that name in mind for the rest of the novel. We get some good action on Phobos, and Flynn actually gets his epic BFG and uses it to good effect. The Slayer Squad fights its way to the main teleporter and not only leaves Phobos, but also the military science fiction genre as a whole, and enters Hard SF. The Slayer Squad teleports to the good alien base, but this alien base is not located halfway across the galaxy, but rather it's near Pluto. Come to find out that Einstein is God in this universe, and there is no way to travel at FTL, so everything is done on an epic, slower-than-light scale. Teleporting takes a long bloody time. It took 7 hours to reach Pluto from Mars. I will say that this slower-than-light contrivance sort of contradicts the first novel, since in that book, Demonos was apparently in a hyperspace tunnel, but it could have been moving slower than light, but faster than a moon. One aspect of Hard SF is the concept of the unknowable nature of the universe, and on the station, everything is shown as above mere humanity. Not only that, but the reason for the Xenos invasion is due to a massively esoteric reason. The good Xenos and the bad Xenos are in a million-year war over literally literary criticism. This is so pure Hard SF, it's kinda funny in a way. Not something you would expect from a Doom book, that is for sure, and I think the writers were trying to get the story to be the sci-fi equivalent to the horror element seen in the games. In the game, hell is an unknowable realm filled with strange creatures. Here, the evil Xenos are unknowable due to being massively more technologically advanced. Or put another way, the writers wanted to have a sufficiently advanced technology kind of thing as a stand-in for hell. This transition to Hard SF is a love it or hate it kind of thing. I love it because it's something that comes completely out of left field and somehow works well enough to be extremely compelling. The plot eventually gets back on track. The Slayers and the good Xenos team up to take down a bad Xeno computer station to disable the bad Xenos command and control on Earth. There is substantially less action in this novel and is much more cerebral, but the cerebral bits do not go on over long, and the novel never gets boring. In addition to the M1 Garand scene, we get a scene towards the end of the novel wherein Flynn Taggart gets filled with righteous fury. And, oh great corn, yes, rips and tears huge guts, and it is glorious. And the novel actually has an ending, and it's quite good, but that shall not be discussed until the next review. And so I am, General Otz, wishing you good Doom Endgame, and good Doom Eternal, or whatever makes you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and please consider leaving a like or a comment, as the algorithm desires your soul. And I want to thank all those fans who have supported this channel, both past and present.